Welcome to the After the Ball Show. Here is your host, Sam, your bro. Today's a gift we all can feel. The wounds are raw, but time will heal. Be thankful now for where you stand, and hold the world in grateful hands. After the bars, we're rising strong, facing the world where we belong. Recovery burns a steady flame. Grateful hearts call out your name. A brotherhood that no one sees, a sisterhood of inner peace. The past no longer holds our eyes. We're reaching up into the skies. After the bars, we're rising strong, facing the world where we belong. Recovery burns a steady flame. Grateful hearts call out your name. The chains we wore are now no more. The keys we found unlock the door. Through every scar a story blooms, right here in these live chat rooms. After the bars, we're rising strong, right here where we belong. After the bars, we're rising strong, facing the world where we belong. Race, nor religion, or political affiliation, we all love each other as one.
Hey everybody, welcome to After the Bars. I am Sam. Where's my sound effects? Let's trash out of here. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. If you're in Australia, your prayers are on their way. I mean, we've been praying for a few days for the victims in Australia. More news is coming out. There's a lot of like weird crisis actor, maybe it's fake, maybe it's real news. I don't know. I don't even get into any of the stuff that's like super far out there in the weeds. And can you guys give me a 5x5 if you can hear me better than you could yesterday? Because I think I found the problem, and when I do the roll call and we talk about it, I will tell you what was wrong yesterday. Of course, it was me. It was your humble host trying to like super tech and dive into the code, you know, of the shell and the GUI of Windows, because, you know, he thinks because he has that certificate over there as a systems engineer from, like, you know, the 90s, that, you know, he knows how to write code, which is not even what I did back then. I was a systems engineer. I did hardware and software configurations, not design the software. Anyways, I keep looking to make sure I'm not on mute, because, you know, I'm always on mute, or it's turned down really low. But anyways, we got a few things to talk about today, and then I'm going to spend a lot of time with the chat today at the end, just to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about Hunter Kozac and how he was a part of Maybe I should swallow these so you guys can't like hear me chewing them. How Hunter Kozac was a part of the town hall at CBS. I don't even know if it's been released yet. No, I think it has been released. I've just been watching clips like on X and YouTube, and a few people have had some things to say about him. And one of those people is Jesse on Fire, and then of course me. I didn't know Jesse did a show on this, and so when I was looking for the actual clip, I realized he did a show almost the exact same thing what I'm doing, but that's fine. You know, I'll have a little different take on it than Jesse. I'm sorry, I'm trying to queue up a video. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about that, on how he has come out on X or Instagram and has made a comment about his appearance on there. First of all, I think it's inappropriate that he was even there. The last person I would have, especially with all the drama surrounding Hunter Kozac, with, you know, I did a whole video on how he was practicing before the shot, and he did the same exact move. I mean, you guys have probably seen it if you've been following it or following me, where he's like going practicing for when Charlie gets shot. It's unbelievable. And then I did a video about some audio that Hunter Kozac definitely did not want to get out there, or he didn't want it to be brought up. I think he tried to bury it right after they said, you know, he forgot that it was out there. I might go play some bits and pieces of my video, my coverage of that. But he's come out and made a statement since his appearance there, and he's the last person they should have had on there. I do think that there might be something up with that. I think that maybe Erika and Hunter Kozac might be communicating with each other, and I don't mean like in some weird nefarious way. I mean like in this like marketing, how do we move TPUSA forward type thing, from the hyper Charlie Kirk conservative to maybe something that's more in the middle, and maybe she is talking to Hunter Kozac for advice. There's some things, and I'm going to do a show on that here in the next couple days. I'm going to show all the times where their paths have crossed, and it's one of those things that make you go, you know, like Arsenio Hall did. You know, I can't even claim anything as original because it's all been done before. Especially when, like in our age group, you know, well, at least in my age group, you know, I can try to like sneak things in from the 80s and 90s, like, you know, try to pawn them off as my own. They're not my own, but you know, you could try to pawn them off as your own if I had like a younger demographic. And, you know, what the analytics say is that my demographic is, 40 to 65, and then 65 up. And I'm so happy for that, because I do not want to entertain a bunch of kids. You know, I have a hard enough time trying to entertain my 4 daughters, as it is. And then, of course, you know, my lovely bride, who's, you know, basically a kid. She's going to kill me if she hears me say that. But, you know, that's how come we mesh, because, you know, I'm so immature and she's more mature. And then we kind of like meet somewhere in the middle. Anyways, I will put some videos together, get some things together. I needed another 5 minutes, but I didn't want to be disrespectful and be late to these streams. I'm trying to do better. Sometimes I'm early even lately, and that is just a miracle from what it used to be when it was when the beginning of the Mayhem show. I mean, I've been an hour late before, you know, at 15 minutes in increments at a time. Anyways, I'll be back to it too. Bye. I'll start to respond.
Good morning to the chaos we ride.
So when I get texts, my own ideas.
Wake up, Sam. He's reborn again. One step forward from where he's been. Turn up the noise, flip the script today. to the show.
Anyways, let's just go ahead and check in with everybody real quick. Oh, we got 12 people here. That's 4 more than yesterday at the beginnings. That's good. Let's see. Tan Louise, how are you doing today? Good to see you. Auntie Monkey Pants is here. What? Auntie Monkey Pants is here.
Monkey Pants, that's what she is to me. Her name is Auntie Monkey Pants, that's what she'll always be. She likes monkeys, she wears pants. She's Auntie Monkey Pants, that's what she is to me. Her name
Yay.
is Auntie Monkey Pants, that's what she'll always be. I am Auntie Monkey Pants, she's Auntie Monkey Pants. We love Auntie Monkey Pants, we love having fun with them. Okay.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
Auntie Monkey Pants, that's what she is to me. Her name is Auntie Monkey Pants, that's what she'll always be. She likes monkeys, she wears pants.
She's Auntie Monkey Pants, that's what she is to me. Her name is Auntie Monkey Pants, that's what she'll always be.
Hey, Auntie Monkey Pants!
Yay! We were finally able to show her things. I've literally been holding on to those for like a few weeks. I've been dying to do that. Oh yeah. I can die now. Yeah, I made those for you last. Remember, I was like, you know what? Because I was always singing, I am Auntie Monkey Pants. She was. Well, I don't know if I was singing that now that song is in my head. So, but no, you're super appreciated. And a part of this community, especially last year, you helped me out a few times with support to keep the channel alive and to keep the lights on. And I just really appreciate that. And I just wanted to, now I'm going to start crying. I just really, really do appreciate you. And I did see your donation this morning, and thank you. Thank you. And there's a few others, and I have written people emails and things like that. So anyways, where was I before I almost started crying? Tan Louise, good morning to you. I already said good morning to you, but I'll do it again. Good morning, or good afternoon rather. Rosanna Dana, good to see you. So I'm glad you're here today. These are some true Samsters. These people that show up every day. Shell Dub's in the house. Good to see you, Shell Dub. Missed you yesterday. Was it yesterday that I missed you? Yes. Missed you yesterday. King Yeti's in the house. Howdy, heathen. I'm definitely gonna have to get a heathen sound. Monkey Pants. Ned and Coco Speech Shop. Good to see you. That's okay. You can be late. I'm late. I was late. Shell Dub, King Yeti, Darcy. Hey, Darcy. Oh, I better make sure those are off. I've been making sure, but sometimes I forget. And what happens, I forget to turn the ads back on after the show. And I know those can be annoying, especially if I'm talking, because they don't pause me. Anyways, I'm Sam-splaining. Bam, boof, bammo. Okay, ads are off. So anyway, hello Darcy, good to see you. Oh, and you just said Sam, ads are on. I didn't even see that you said that. I just seen your name. Darcy, Sheldub, King Yeti, Darcy, and Coco Speech Shop, Auntie Monkey Pants, and Sheldub. Okay, I got everybody. Okay. I am so not like have everything like dialed up and ready to go, but that's okay. We're just gonna kind of wing through it. What some would call wing it. We're just gonna wing it. And my camera's so misadjusted. Yeah, we're just gonna wing it. Wing it. Okay. So first I want to read this. First, I want to read this story. Let me see what it's called in there. What is? I found this completely on accident, which is bizarre. It's super bizarre. So the name of this paper is called USA Sports News Arizona.com. This might be Jesse on Fire's this might be his newspaper, and I didn't even know he had a newspaper. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm so glad I added these cool buttons to my thing. So it doesn't have who wrote it, but anyways, what is Hunter Kozac doing with Erika Kirk? Unexpected alliance sends fans into a frenzy. Fans of who? Erika Kirk? Or fans of who? That's bizarre. Let me see if I can get that to disappear. All right. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to hook this stuff up. So anyway, that's good. There's Hunter. That was him at the thingamabobber, the town hall, which was not a town hall. It was a scripted 6 questions, and they invited Hunter Kozac and to come to it. He's been invited to a few of those things, and he said that he hasn't accepted, but he did accept this one. And that's why I do think there's been some behind the scenes like communication with Hunter Kozac. Anyways, social media rarely explodes over coincidence alone, which is why one question is suddenly everywhere. What exactly is Hunter Kozac doing with Erika Kirk? A few photos, a brief appearance, and some carefully chosen words were all it took to ignite intense speculation and leave fans scrambling for answers. Also, guys, I am going to do a hangout with you guys, a community check-in after we talk about these things. It started quietly. Few viewers began noticing Hunter Kozac appearing in the same circles as Erika Kirk. What does that even mean? Same circles? Showing up at overlapping events and sharing moments that felt anything but accidental. At first, it looked like nothing more than professional proximity. Then the details started piling up. Fans pointed out timing. Kozac's recent media moves aligned almost perfectly with Kirk's growing visibility. Their public appearances, while limited, carried a tone that suggested coordination rather than coincidence. Neither addressed it directly, which only fueled the curiosity. I don't see any reason for those two to be together at all, because I truly think that Hunter Kozac was definitely a part of the planning of the assassination. The only thing that makes me think that he wasn't a part of that, and it's probably because I've been around a lot of sociopaths. I've been around a lot of people that have what minute are we in? Murdered people, in federal prison, high security federal prisons. And I know what those people are like. And it's a real diabolical thing for a group of people just to decide that they're going to, plot to kill a major political figure, someone who's very, very popular. And I don't know if this is because I'm naive, but they're acting pretty innocent in a way. Does that make sense? Like they're not like worried about being out there, to continue to do what they're doing. I think what it is, and I talked about this yesterday, is that the feds, they think because they don't get arrested right away, especially with all the speculation. Let's just use Hunter Kozac for an example, because he's the topic of the show. I think they think because they're getting away with it because they're not arrested immediately, that it empowers them to be, because he is being, is at that town hall. He's, commenting more online. I see the little lies, but then I want to think, like, man, and I know this is naive, but like, are there people out there that can just think that? But there is, and I know that. So I don't think it's naive. I just don't want to believe it. I don't want to think that someone can plot, unalive somebody like Charlie Kirk and then just have no conscience about it. And then to believe that there's a group of people that have never done anything like this before and have no conscience about it. Like, look, I know there's evil. I know there's evil out there, and that there's, serial killers and people that do this, and some people do it for a living, but they're a different breed of person. There's a prison gang called the Brand in California, called the Aryan Brotherhood. And, and normally I wouldn't talk about them, and I'm not talking about the way they work or what they do. I'm just saying I've met a bunch of those dudes, and then I've also met a bunch of those dudes that say they're those dudes. And when someone tells me that they're, from the ABs, not like all these, all these little state Aryan Brotherhoods. I'm talking about California, where it has originated. The difference. You've met a killer. Do you know what I mean? And when someone tries to tell me, like, yeah, man, I'm AB, like, I'll get to a yard, on the East Coast, because the feds, especially if you're in a gang, they shoot you everywhere. And, like, some dude will be like, hey, what's up, man? I got the yard, they call me AB Thumper. I'm like, oh, okay, AB Thumper, where are you from? And it won't even be California, which doesn't mean anything. You can be not from California and still be a California brand, but they're like, I'm from Kentucky. And I was like, oh, okay, well, cool, man. Where'd you do your time? And they'll give me some lame play. And I don't even need to ask those questions. I can just tell, because I've met the real dudes, and those dudes are killers. And I'm not trying to swing up their nuts. I don't get along with really any of them. Like, I wouldn't call any of them my friend. And so I'm not trying to, like, make them out to be anything more than what they are. And they're just ruthless killers. And that's not a good thing. Right. So when I see, like, those fake ass dudes say that, like, I'm like, no, I know you're not one. So when I see Hunter Kozac, and, like, he would have to be a killer if he helped plot that and said, yeah, let me ask the final question. I don't see it in him. And so because of that, it's hard for me to think that he would be a part of it. But having said that, look at all the trans shooters, and all the people that always say, like, oh man, I live next door to that guy. And man, yeah, I just thought he was a little weird. He liked to wear makeup and dresses, Well, it turns out that's not the weird part. The weird part is he wants to shoot up a school or a church or, a political rally or something, So I don't know. I don't see it in this dude, but Jesse on Fire has offered him $40,000, which he agreed to do when it was 20, and then he ghosted him. So I don't know. Vindicta. I don't want to read the chat because, I'll get totally sidetracked and off track, but I just happened to read this last chat. He's just a drama kid playing a role. He's definitely not a killer. Right. Exactly. But is he playing do you think he was part of it? And you know what? Don't answer that. We're going to get to the question comment part, but I get it. Exactly. He's just a drama kid. I know I'm from Hollywood. I know a million kids like that. My kid brother, not the lawyer, but my other one, he teaches drama at a community college in LA, and he was a drama kid. And so it's hard for me to think anything other. But anyways, when we get to the questions and comments, I'll let you guys know when that starts, and then you'll do a CCC for a comment and a QQQ for a question. And if you'd like to attach a super chat to that, that would be appreciated. There's a link in the description to leave tips and donations. This channel does run on those things at this moment until you hear me read an ad or see an ad, which I don't even really want to do. But eventually I might have to just, have one every other show or something like that. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. So anyway, so that's that. I'm going to show the video I did on this guy. I think I did a couple. Let me find the one I want to show. I finally have good news to report in Utah. No, that's not it. That's not it. Where was it? Where was it? Ha! That is it. Okay. 1 second. Let me get this. Hey guys, welcome back to the bars. I am Sam. I'm under here somewhere. You guys have all heard of Hunter Kozac. You know the gentleman I'm talking about. Let's just watch this for a second. Right here. 24 hours. Hunter Kozac, he's been around for a little bit in the anti-Charlie world. I'm going to show you a few things. I'm going to show you some things that he said prior to Charlie Kirk. I'm going to show you a video of him practicing disbelief just before the Charlie Kirk assassination. Maybe some of you seen, maybe some of you haven't. But then I'm going to play a secret recording of what his true feelings are. It's this recording you probably have not heard.
Nothing more than to confront him on his own turf about these questions that I have. So I'd suggest you donate to the Unfuck America tour so that me and all of my other content creator buddies here can fucking harass this ghoul. Because
they think he's a ghoul. They think he's lower than human, subhuman. That's just it, And so when I hear things like that, and I know those are just words and they weren't threatening words, but I mean, they really, really despised him. And I feel like, there's like a deep state element to it, kind of, maybe, I don't know, I don't want to get too far in the weeds. I threw away my tinfoil hat a long time ago, but I don't want to get too far in the weeds with it, but I don't want to be, an idiot about it either. So I don't know. I want to play a little bit more of this video. You absolutely probably have not heard this unless you follow a certain creator, and I'll give him credit when right before we play the audio. I'm gonna try to button it up in a big red bow with and
Real Fabio.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost had the name. So he's like, yeah, that dude, he didn't testify against somebody on a murder trial. So, Tan Louise, I'm going to show you a little bit who this guy is. He doesn't respect it. He doesn't respect it. And I'm going to show you why and how I know that.
To ensure that, at least some semblance of a good conversation can come out of it.
So here we go. This is before Charlie even gets there to start asking and answering questions. Look at him. He's practicing. He wasn't talking to anybody. He was practicing.
do you hate Charlie Kirk? I know I do.
Did you guys see that?
See Charlie Kirk.
And I mean, some of you probably have seen it already before. This is before asking and answering questions. He was walking back and forth. Look at him. See his mouth? His mouth is like going like this, like be acting surprised. He's trying to like act surprised. And then just, minutes later, Charlie Kirk was shot, and that was the first thing he did. He went like that. That's super conspicuous, right? That's super shady, super shady. So he's practicing. He wasn't talking to anybody. He was practicing.
Do you hate Charlie Kirk?
I got chocolate
know
over
I
my
do.
hand.
I am going to go see Charlie Kirk. And if you would like tickets to see me challenge Charlie Kirk about this, please buy tickets below. Donate to the tour. Because I'm partnering with the Unfuck America tour, and we want to challenge Charlie Kirk where he sits. So, Charlie Kirk, bastion of free speech and the marketplace of ideas, cut off my ticket. So, what I'm going to be doing is infiltrating as a Trump supporter. So I just acted confused and said, I don't know what happened with my ticket, but I'd like to buy another one, and got right in. Hi, my name's Charlie Kirk, and I just want to give a real big shout.
So this is a little skit that he's doing right now. It's this little bullshit skit that he does. Like, this is what Charlie Kirk would say in this conversation. Take a listen.
Shout out to TikTok user Staxiums, and if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be big, apparently. And, oh, my God. So Charlie Kirk just said that the suspected Minneapolis school shooter was trans. First Nashville, now this. How many times makes a trend? Bravo.
See, he doesn't respect this. Yeah, basically, I just showed all the ways that he does not respect at all, Charlie Kirk. He doesn't owe Charlie any respect. He doesn't. He was on an opposite political, ideology, and but he did say just some nasty things, but that doesn't make him, a participant in a conspiracy to commit murder. To commit murder. So, on to what has happened recently. So, he took part in the I'm gonna go find it. I told you guys I wasn't ready, but I'm glad I'm here. Hold on. I'm gonna find this this clip under Kozac Town Hall. And I mean, put a 1 in the chat if you think he shouldn't even have been there, right? Like, why would she even have him there? The person who the last question, which was about hold on, which was about trans shooters. Oh, okay, cool. I found the whole thing. I'm just going to get to
emergency response there, flooded by law enforcement.
The conservative activist Charlie Kirk has died after being shot during an event.
The latest horrible example of what appears to be a rising tide.
An entire
Let's go ahead and watch a little bit of this.
Of what he said. Charlie didn't care what skin color you were. He didn't care what religion you were.
It's true. Those are facts.
He loved excellence. He loved knowing that people, his favorite word was earn. He loved knowing that people worked hard to earn what they got. He worked so hard to build Turning Point USA. The first statement you meant about guns and shooting, I have no idea the context of that, and I have no idea that whole, there's a lot more there than just that one little sentence. My husband is not to be deteriorated to 2 sentences. Mm-hmm. He's not. He is a thought leader, and he was brilliant of a man.
He was brilliant.
So that's fine if you want to take words out of his mouth or out of context without the whole thing in perspective. But that's the problem.
Does it bother you that people are picking out those statements and drawing an entire picture of who he was?
Again, that's the problem. You're not having a conversation. You're having a 15-second clip on the internet to define your thought of who someone is, instead of taking the time to educate yourself on truly who that person is, what they thought. Because Why? They challenged you to think a little different? Again, my husband
Oh, she's so
was an amazing man.
bizarre.
We're human. But I do not once, for 1 second, think he was anything else than exceptional.
Yeah, I think what it is with Erika Kirk, and I don't think anything bad about her. I just think she's just not very articulate. And I'm not saying I'm Mr. Articulation. I'm just saying she's just not very articulate. She's trying to get her sea legs, you know what I mean? She's trying to get her she just needs to do this more and more and more, and she'll get better at it, you know? I understand what she wants to say. And like, look, those are real tears. Those aren't fake tears. She's, you know, she was, and not to bash, you know, Miss America pageants, but you know, she likes to just pivot everything into something positive, which is fine. Which is I wish everybody was, right? You know, to take a negative and to not expound on it, just to, you know, pivot it to something positive. And with her, because of her faith, she pivots it more to Christianity, you know, and to her faith. And man, God bless her for that, right? I wish I could pivot more conversations to that. I would probably be witnessing a lot more. But I'm just too scorned, you know, in a sense. You know, my heart is big, but I'm just like, it's hard for me to pivot every conversation to where, you know, I'm trying to save someone's soul. I first of all, I feel like I'm not smart enough to do it, you know, sometimes. And, you know, people say, you know, God's using my story, you know, to go from systems engineer to full blown, you know, trafficker to, you know, federal prison, high securities, you know, to being in, you know, knife fights and all the things, you know, that led me to where I am today, that there's a purpose, you know, and, you know, and I'm looking for that purpose, and I pray for that, just to figure out what that is. And, you know, I think it keeps changing what my purpose is, to have gone through everything that I've gone through. I'm not playing the victim. I've gone through a lot. So I just feel like, it's not a bad thing that she pivots the conversations, but she comes off not like, cause she'll make these like bizarre faces, like, you know, and she's been doing it since we've been starting to see her on center stage. And I'm definitely not bashing her. But I do have some questions of why she would have this guy on, and then we're gonna listen to this, watch her interaction with him. And then we're going to play the new clip that he just came out yesterday. And the things that he said are just bizarre and lame. Bizarre and lame.
Erika, as you know, the last person that Charlie ever spoke to was a Utah Valley student named Hunter Kozac. He was asking Charlie a question that day when he was shot, and he's here tonight. And he wants to ask you a question.
Hi there. Erika, I want to tell you how much I appreciate your calls for peace and unity. And I'm likewise horrified by the people in my so-called camp who were cheering about Charlie's murder. I believe that they stoke the flames of violence. But even worse is when powerful, influential people on either side of the aisle stoke the flames. When they do...
Do you see the way she was looking at him? That's a look of like, of suspicion, or of, I know, like she might know that he's under investigation. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what that looks like to me. Like, I've seen the FBI, you know, 502s on you, and I know. So, but you know, this whole thing is scripted too. So I don't know.
When powerful, influential people on either side of the aisle stoke the flames. When they do it, the flames can become an inferno.
Of course he's 30.
And this leads me to Donald Trump, the most powerful and influential person on earth, who has more responsibility than anyone else to put the flames out. Just last month, President Trump called on 6 Democratic lawmakers to be tried for sedition, which he clarified was punishable by death. He then reposted a simple message: hang them. I think that you've been making strides to bring peace to our country, and that Turning Point has been asking Democrats to decry the individuals who cheer for violence. I have and will continue to decry.
Do you know why Trump said that? And like, look, I just said it. Well, back to shadow ban. No, I knew he wasn't a student, but they call him a student. But anyways, yeah, that's right. They call him a student there. You know why Trump said hang them? And like, I've already said it, so it's totally stupid to even try not to say it anymore. Is because those generals and those politicians said to disobey orders. And so Trump said, you know what? Hang them. And he doesn't mean physically hang them. I mean, it's still on the books. Sedition, am I using the right word? Is it sedition? Please let me know, guys, if I'm using the wrong word, because I don't want to put bad info out there. But but that is sedition. It's traitorous. It's and back in the olden days, you would have got hung for that. And so he said, hang them. If they get found guilty for that, hang them. That's not stoking violence. That's not saying, go beat up, people that oppose you, your political ideology. Those dude, that should not be said no matter who you are. Vote, get in the voting box then. Go vote differently. Go run for office if that's what if you think it needs to be changed and you have better ideas. Why don't people do that anymore? Why isn't that like the first thing? You know what? I'm going to become a councilman, then a mayor, then a governor, then a president. And it doesn't even have to be like that. You can just be like, you know what? I'm going to run for the Senate, or I'm going to run for Congress. You can just do it. Yeah, it takes money, but then go support someone who thinks like you. If you don't have what it takes, or financially, but you can get donors to, if you have the right ideas, take us to the stage. Just don't be what's that term? Something thinker. It's like, damn it. It's don't be just like a small-minded, small thinking person like, oh yeah, you're trying to stoke violence, the embers of violence. Like, this dude's an idiot, dude. Yeah, he's 30 years old. He's not a student. His dad's one of the producers at Jimmy Kimmel. I know right where those offices are. I could drive right up to those offices. I'm not saying to do anything. I'm just saying they're I know right where they're at. I used to live on Gower, which looks down on those offices. Anyways.
By them. But any good faith effort to stop political violence must hold both parties to the same standard and expectation. So in that spirit, will you condemn the violent rhetoric of Donald Trump, the most powerful and influential person on earth?
What does that even mean? Like I hate it when interviewers, especially Piers Morgan, they're like, you don't denounce racism? Of course I denounce racism. Well, then denounce Ye. Well, maybe I don't think Ye's a racist. Maybe I just think he's doing that for other reasons that aren't racist, Anyways, and that's not me speaking. I could care less about Ye one way or another.
I appreciate your question. You know my heart. Why would I ever say, yes, go murder people? This is so much deeper than just one. I understand your sentiment. I do. But this is also so much deeper than just one person. This starts at the home, okay? This starts with family. This starts with a seed that grows and grows. You can choose to have evil in your heart, or you can choose to have light. What you consume and what you absorb from the outside world will manifest itself. No, I will never agree with political violence. My husband is a victim of it. I'm a victim of it. But what I'm trying to say here is that we can blame everyone else. We have to look in the mirror when you become a father, when you become a mother. How are you raising your kids? Are you taking responsibility, or are you giving them a device and saying, go down that rabbit hole? I'm trying to go to Pilates class. You can just sit in the corner and look at your iPad or look at your phone and go down that rabbit hole and see what you can learn from that instead of being a parent. So my call to action from that is, parents, step up. Do you want your kid to be a thought leader or an assassin?
Like, look, there's hella truth to all of that. There really is. I mean, there's some truth to that, but it's a little more than that. You know, I used to, my mom, she would be like, I used to talk about this with my friends. My mom would be like, you know, hey, take out the trash. And then I wouldn't do it, right? Or I'd forget, and then she'd be like, you procrastinate, and your procrastination's going to lead to this and lead to that, and then lead to this and lead to that. You know, she's not Italian, but I don't know why I became Italian telling the story. And then into this and into that. No, but she would, like, by the time she would go from like me not taking out the trash to me being in prison, you know, I'm like, geez, mom, you just sent me to prison for not taking out the trash. I mean, yes, I've been to prison, but I used to tell that story before I went to prison. So, and I get, you might say, well, she was right. You know, maybe those little things, you know, were like the seeds that, you know, the fruit it bared was you being in prison. No, my story's a little different than, you know, I was a 30, I was 30 when I went to prison. And, it was because of a tragedy, and I became a raging drunk / you know, addict. But do you get what I'm saying? So like, yeah, you can't just say, okay, yeah, you know, my daughter watches TikToks, you know, especially when I'm trying to work, and, I would never leave her with that. And so I guess her point is true. Like I'm never going to have a teenage kid. And my older 3 daughters are just amazing. They're business owners. They're teachers. They're just amazing. But I just would never like leave them alone and not know what their thoughts are. So it does start at home in that aspect. Like I will never not know what my kids' thoughts are, what their interests are. Like I can tell you all of my daughters, their favorite color, who they're listening to right now, all of what they're wearing, like what their style is, you know, what, I just know it. I just know it. For the most part, I know what boys they're into, you know, unless they don't want to tell me. So I don't know. So there is truth to that, but I don't think it's either or. I don't think it's like, if you let them do that, or, I mean, I'm not going to say like, if you let them do that, they're going to become assassins. It was a little dramatic, but I get it. She could have said it a little differently. She could have Samsplained it. And then the town hall would have been like 5 hours, a 5-hour town hall. All right, guys, let's, am I going to play any more of this? Nah, I'm not going to play any more of that. So then Hunter went out, and I got to search for this now. I could play it off Jesse on Fire's thing. But I apologize again, man. I wish I would have had all this set up. Did Hunter Kozac know Tyler Robinson? Probably. But hold on, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. Yes. So crazy. It's not. Destiny's Tour, Hunter Kozac is the Antifa. Well, yeah, we've known that. Let me just find. I'm probably going to have to just show Jesse's coverage of it. Damn it. Sorry, Jess. He won't mind. Yeah, shocking new video. They were Don't worry, I'm coming, guys. All right. All right, Jesse. You're up. So this is Jesse on Fire. I've showed you guys some things of him before. He plays this, and then we're going to get to his... And this is Hunter's statement since then.
Let's look at what Hunter Kozac had to say about being on there. All right, here we go, guys. Let's watch Hunter tell you about his trip to New York.
So I'm in New York City. I was offered to be flown here by CBS to ask Erika Kirk a question. This is the town hall right here. It's going to air December 13th, but it was filmed last night. It's pre-recorded. And basically, it's like 6 or 7 questions from people, and I was one of those questioners. Now, I've been offered to do this once or twice before, but kind of rarely are they sort of allowing me to say whatever I would like to say. But before I accepted, I'm like, hey, look, I'm willing to come down there, but I will ask the question that I'd like to ask, and I'm happy to respect her as a widow, but I also think that she bears some responsibility as now the head of the biggest conservative organization in America.
And I think that you bear some responsibility given that you asked such a coincidental question, and the fact that you were on the Unfuck America tour, which said that he was the evil spawn, the devil spawn. And I think that people deserve to know whether you're telling the truth. And I know that you would be putting yourself on the line if you did that, which is why I am offering you $40,000 to take a polygraph test.
Did you guys hear that?
But like I said,
$40,000 he's offering. 40 grand. What would you do? What would you do? If you're innocent, you'd be like, yeah, where do I show up? Because it's inadmissible. I'm just saying, even if you like are innocent and you accidentally, because that's what an innocent person would say, the only concern an innocent person would have to take a polygraph would be like, well, what if it says that I'm lying, and I'm not, and I'm truly innocent? Then, that would be a concern, right? But they're pretty good. They get a baseline. They know if you're nervous or not, and they baseline from there. So I think it's a win-win. Like, you just take it if you're innocent. I almost say you take it even if you're guilty, and then let the dude say, and then I can just say, dude's full of it. They tried to get me. I don't know why they tried to do that, but they've been trying to get me ever since this started. You think you've got away with it, but no, I don't know. I don't know. But does it show guilt by him not taking it? That's the true question. I would say take the test. If I was his friend, I'd be like, dude, you don't have nothing to do with it, right? Dude, go take the test. Take the test, dude. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. You take the test. It's 40 grand. And he's going to put the 40 grand in escrow. So he puts the 40 grand in escrow, and it's there. You take the test no matter what. He said the only way he would not pay is if the test came back like, non-responsive, or, they can't tell. And that happens a lot. That happens a lot in tests. I should have looked up a statistic on how often that does happen. So you really have to have a pro take that test, and a pro that's honest, that to administer the test. Because a pro that's honest might say, well, from my experience, I would say that this person might be, lying. Be able to just say, he's most likely lying. I mean, that's why they're not admissible in court, because there's no absolutes, because there's so many variables, right? Your breathing, your blood pressure, fidgeting, twitching. There's just too much, your voice inflection. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong. And you just don't know how a person will react to the setting. Some people, I think they can take Valium to calm down and then lie without, getting excited. I think there's a way, like, you could press on the bottom of your foot when you answer your question, like to create something, or you can create pain somewhere else in your body and it throws the test off. But you don't want to throw the test off. You want it to be 100. So I don't know why I always look above my camera. Like, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm always looking above it. I got to stop doing that. So anyway, let's get back to Jesse.
I'm asking the questions. I could do away with that, dude. We could do away with that. But we need affirmative, he's telling the truth, or no, he's lying on all the major ones. Unreadable, no money. Okay? That is the only rule. Who would turn this down? Guys, who would turn down $40,000? Seriously. Who would turn that down? A guilty person is the answer. A guilty person would turn that down. Okay? I would take that.
There's a little more nuance than that.
I would take that in 2 seconds. Well, and then I will apologize on every single platform if I'm wrong.
I want you guys to hear the rest of what he says.
Asked my question. They didn't change it. And so it's there in the broadcast, but I'll tell you basically what it was. It was that Erika has been pretty firmly against political violence and those who sort of spread hate or violence. And she asks a lot of people to condemn or decry people who are cheering for Charlie's death. And I'm happy to do so too. But Erika also defends the President of the United States, the most influential and powerful person in America, who just last month called for 6 Democratic lawmakers to be hanged for sedition. And I'm saying, doesn't it show a sort of asymmetry when Republicans aren't condemning the President of the United States and Democrats are expected to condemn random people on the internet? And I will condemn those people. Those people are psychos. But also the President of the United States is a psycho. Because on the one...
He's not condemning random people, though. He's condemning people that are being treasonous to the laws of the land, to orders given by their chain of command. I mean, there's even Congress people. What's her name? The black chick, Letitia James. What is that her name? Letitia James. Saying, refuse those orders. Don't listen to your captains. If your captains are saying locking up, this is my impersonation of a Texas black girl. If you say lock him up, then you lock him up. Actually, Letitia talks better than I do, but whenever she's around her people, she adopts an accent. So I'm kind of doing a twofer right now. She's like, yeah, man, don't obey those crackers or whatever she says. She says some crazy racist shit, right? So yeah, hang them. If they get found guilty, indict them. And then if they get found guilty, do whatever within the power. I don't think they should be actually hung, but, I think Donald does. I think he does because he's crazy. Where's my, what? I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. I can't hear it. But yeah, that's most of that. Let me see if you had anything else to say.
Expecting a non-answer. I was expecting her to refuse to condemn Donald Trump's words. But what I wasn't expecting was how vapid and thoughtless she would come across. She very often talks about being a Miss America pageant winner, and
Yeah. He says the same thing I just said. You know, it does come through. It really does. It really does come through.
by default, but only because she is primarily, firstly, and lastly an Orthodox Christian. Every single question that was lobbied to her somehow got back to Jesus Christ, and I don't know how. How do you feel
Amen.
about
Amen. I think he says the same exact things I did. I seen a summary of it. So let's see how Jesse ends
That's
this
cute.
out.
Let's see if we can do the same thing. Ready? Hunter, how much money do you have in your bank account right now? That's a personal question. Yeah, no, I'm asking for a relevant reason that could potentially dramatically improve your life. All right. Well, I have $16,000 total dollars, including my savings. What would you do for $40,000? Is that a trick question? I don't like guys. I know. I'm saying I'll give you $40,000 to just take a polygraph test and confirm that you had no foreknowledge of Charlie being shot at UVU that day. I mean, of course I'll do it for $40,000. Yeah. The thing is that you said that last time though. And then when I went to schedule with you, you suddenly didn't know who I was anymore and you disappeared. Okay. If you were trying to negotiate, that was really smart because now instead of 20,000, it's 40,000. So why would you not do it? Well, I just think nothing's going to satisfy the conspiracy theorist. Right. But how would you be negatively impacted by taking a polygraph when you know that the core questions we're going to be asking, and we'll even put this in contract, are going to be about your potential involvement in this crime, why you were doing the thing like this? Hey,
Yeah. So I'm going to be pushing this for not every show, but I'm gonna do some shorts. I'm be like, Hunter, take the test. Take the test. Why not? Why not? I mean, they're investigating you anyway, brother. Just know that. Just know that they're investigating you. They're investigating a lot of people. That whole Discord chat, they are investigating that. Don't let anyone fool you like it's over. I said it yesterday, and I don't mean to be redundant, but for the new viewers, for the people in the replay who didn't see yesterday's show, just like I said with Karen Reed, the feds will investigate, and they will investigate for years sometimes. And there's no statute of limitations on murder. So they can investigate this for 10 years if they want to. They won't, but I bet you they do it for 3 years, 4 years. Well, I guess it just depends if they really think that. Well, Tyler Robinson's a part of it. Hands down, he's a part of it some way, somehow. Some way, somehow, he's a part of it. He's not completely innocent, or else he would be freaking out at court like, no, not guilty, Your Honor. Not just standing there like, this is crazy. This is crazy. But know this. Baron Coleman said the other day, day before yesterday, he said the man that ran off that roof was most likely not Hunter, and I agree, or Tyler Robinson, and I agree with him about that. Also, you guys, if you're not subscribed to Jesse on Fire, go ahead and go over there and subscribe to Jesse on Fire, and thank him for letting me use his content. No, you don't have to thank him. As long as I just give him a shout out, I know that's the agreement we all have. Use some of mine, I use some of yours, yada yada yudo. A couple people have used a few of my clips. They have. Loophole Lawyer has. That was pretty amazing. I felt like I had arrived. It was like my quinceañera. I should have had a dress made. No, guys, I'm not gay. Just a little weird. Awakened is here. Yay. Good morning, Awakened. Isaiah 2 versus Micah 4. Good to see you. Oh, versus Micah. I love that name. I would love to hear why you chose that handle. Anyone else did I miss on the first roll call? No, but yeah, so that's really I wanted to talk about that. He did he have to come out and talk about Charlie Kirk's widow like that? He didn't really say anything too bad. But I think it should dispel, some of the rumors, and maybe that's what they are doing, trying to dispel the rumors that they're working together on a project. He really wanted them to know that they didn't change his question. I think they did. I think they fed him that question and answer. At the very least, they let her know what he was going to say. I don't think anything about that town hall was by chance or authentic. Not even a little bit. I mean, CBS has been busted so many times for, especially for people on the left, and Barry Weiss is definitely super far left. I do think that Erika is going to try to kind of take TPUSA to the middle a little bit, a little less right and a little more left, but still just right of middle and just left of where Charlie Kirk probably would have had it. And that's on her. If she wants to, crash and burn the entire company, that's her right. Also, guys, we have a big show this afternoon. Candace Owens is going to be talking about her 4.5-hour meeting with Erika Kirk. I might do a response to that right afterwards. Actually, not might. I'm going to. I'm going to do a show right afterwards so we can talk about that. So be there this afternoon. I think it should be awesome. And now I'm going to go to the chat. If you guys have any comments or questions, please do CCC in front of your comment and do a QQQ in front of your question. Please do that. I do read the chat and I do catch things that people don't do it. And I just don't know if they really want it, to be read or to be read out loud. But it is my show and I have the choice to read any chat I want to. But I don't want to be disrespectful to you guys if you just, if you didn't want it like read aloud. So give us a C, give us a Q, and we'll be rock and rolling. I'll give you guys a few minutes to do that. Or not a few minutes, a few seconds to do that. While we watch this.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video, but remember, hit that like button down below. It really helps the channel to grow bigger and better and more diverse. Not that weird, creepy kind of government diverse. I'll Samsplain it for you if you want. You want to hear some Samsplaining? Just like the video down below.
All right. Make sure you hit that like button. Just give it a go hip thrust. Bam! Smash it. Smash it. Yes, he's lost his mind. I didn't even comb my hair today. I don't ever comb my hair. Yesterday it looked pretty cool though. It was just kind of messy, but a controlled mess. Not today. Not today, boys and girls. I know. Let me get over here to the chat. Yeah, we missed you too, Anti-Monkey Pants. We were kind of worried because we had seen you a few days in a row and then bam. Sorry, I got a Zen in my mouth and it's giving me the hiccups. And then you were missing, and I forget people have works, and because, I think the world revolves around me. I think I did something wrong or offended somebody. Oh, okay. I got to take this out. Oof. Gnarly. Oh, it's totally giving me the hiccups, or has given me the hiccups. While you guys figure out something to talk about, I'm going to see if anyone else is out there talking about anything fun. Oh, Ian Carroll, who's amazing, did his take on the CK electrocution theory. Baron Coleman has come out with an electrocution theory, and I don't agree with it. I've come to the conclusion that I don't agree with it. I don't think that he was electrocuted and shot and whatever else, from behind and the front. I don't believe he was shot with a 30-06. I don't. I do believe that it's a little more than what we're being told. I don't think the FBI owe it to anybody to show their hand on the investigation. We want to say that because of how they handled the e-files, right? We want to say no, we need transparency. Well, it's a criminal investigation, and it's probably around 20 people they're investigating. So they don't have to say yes, we're doing it, because they don't want to tip their hand to the people they're investigating. They want them to think that they've gotten away with it. I think Destiny is a part of that. Yeah, who is a creator on YouTube or on Rumble and Twitch and all the other weirdo platforms that are out there. So yeah, I don't see any C's and I don't see any Q's. Jasmine Crockett. What did I say? King Yeti. Did I not say Jasmine Crockett? Yes, Jasmine Crockett. Awakened Reflections says, if I would, I could at Lorenzo Bushway, but I would rather my daughter's case receive justice first. The lack of concern towards victims' legacy and truth is astoundingly frustrating, in my opinion. I am very frustrated with that case also. And hopefully Ned and I can do a show on that soon. Yep. I really, really do hope so. It's an emotional thing for Awaken to talk about, and so, but I think if I remember correctly, I think she's pretty close to be. I mean, she's talked about it before, but I mean to really dive in and start lighting some fire under some people's asses, if you will. Ned and Coco Speech Up says, I feel pretty today. I feel pretty also. I sure do. I do. Oh, I feel pretty. I feel pretty crazy today. Trials in April. Hope things can finally move forward and breathe again. Yes, that would be awesome. Yeah, maybe we can figure out a way we can cover that trial. I do have my legal channel, Legal Livewire. I do have some secrets. If there's cameras in that courtroom, if they have any kind of Zoom link, they don't have to be on YouTube to be covered. We can gain access. We sure can. I'm always checking to see if I'm on mute. Well, guys, I've presented what I wanted to present today, and was kind of hoping we could hang out and talk a little bit more. But if you guys are just chilling and hanging out, what? Let me see. The Rob Reiner, remember I showed that clip yesterday of Rob Reiner on All in the Family. His son did have, I think, $3 million bail. They rescinded that bail yesterday. So now he has no bail. So he'll be going to trial from jail, which is good. Yes, Rob Reiner was a left-wing, pretty much nut job, but he definitely did not deserve to his life being ended that way, especially by your own son and his wife. We keep forgetting to mention his wife, and I apologize for that. His wife was there too. They were stabbed many times, and also were slit, and it's just very, very, very heavy. I'm seeing Coach Colin is talking about something right now. Says, I can't wait to see what it's going to do. Let me see what he's talking about.
Before Tony Graff is the judge, if you are unaware, since being charged with aggravated murder, a capital offense that could carry a severe penalty, the ultimate penalty, you can see there, if convicted. Now, we all know that, and that's just like a brief breakdown of what Tyler looked like.
Let me see what he's talking about.
Have a clip, so why not just play the clip? Let's check it out. This is Tyler inside the courtroom. Check this out. All right, guys, there's 3 things I need you to do. Like, subscribe, and go check out the Patreon. That's it. Get back to the episode.
I don't know why they're showing clips of him being in court last week. It's not a bombshell. Everyone keeps using the word bombshell and a little loosely. I know I do it sometimes too.
Okay, I just gotta give that to you guys one more time here. This guy does not look worried.
Yeah, so basically they're talking about that Tyler Robinson doesn't look worried. He doesn't look worried at all. He can either be a sociopath, which there's no history of that. But that doesn't mean he's not. Like I said before, think of all the times where people are like, no, he was the sweetest kid, and they,
this is them panicking and melting down.
That's
what this is. When you see Erika Kirk get on a jet and fly to Nashville, which is what you would think the people at TPU would.
Let me just say one more thing about the meeting. Yes, you did. Here, yeah. Well, let's just hang on with the chat. Wait, said, did I see something from POTUS speaking about Rob and his wife? I did check it out, but because discussed all the way around these situations nowadays. But yeah, you did. He basically said that he's a victim of Trump derangement syndrome, and that he basically said he had it coming. And he said that on Truth Social too. And a lot of people on both sides of the aisle are pushing back on that statement. It was disrespectful for POTUS to say something like that, especially holding the highest office in the land. But what else did we expect, right? Did we expect anything less? No, we definitely didn't. Do we expect a little bit more? Yes, always. We always expect a little bit more from him, I must say. Also, regarding the Candace Owens, and I'm going to end it with this, guys. Regarding the Candace Owens and Erika Kirk meeting, Erika Kirk, first, they set the meeting, but TPUSA canceled it because Candace wouldn't show in person, which was disingenuous all the way around. I did a whole show on it. Because she wouldn't show in person, they're like saying, well, she said any time and place that she would be there. Well, yeah, any time and place, you pick the time, the place, and she will be there virtually. It doesn't, to say you'll be there just means you'll be there to participate in the conversation. We don't have to make up things and be like, oh, yep, see, she, Candace is a lying grifter. But to show, I think because Erika did fly to Candace, to Nashville, shows that they're in they're in, what's that mode called? Fix shit fast mode. They're trying to save, what's left. All their views are down. Their poll numbers are down. It's just a shit show all the way around. Comment, what time is your next show this evening? Me, Tiff, and Body Illusion will be going live in the Village tonight as well. Hope they don't fall at the same time. I was going to do it right after Candace, but I don't have to. We could talk about it in the Village if that's appropriate. I don't have to do my show as long as, and maybe there's nothing to talk about. Maybe, there's not going to be no new enlightenments. And also I can always do that show tomorrow morning. So you let me know what time you're going to be on and I will adjust accordingly. I can participate in tonight's show in the Village, which would be great. And I can always just do my show on the Candace recap tomorrow. I just, was trying to be ahead of everyone else to do it. But it doesn't have to be. It's not like I'm going to make $1 million from the show and I'm missing out or anything. So you let me know what time the show is and I will try to be there. And then I will announce it on a community post and we'll just go from there. Oh. I want to munch on little munchies. I did play the song, James. I did. I played both of them. Yeah, I did. Yep. Good to see you, James. I'm glad you made it today.
USA would want the Bondi. We continue.
Lots of people panicking.
Hey.
Candace made it back alive. A lot of people are like, I mean, come on. People were really worried about like Candace not making it back alive from the meeting. The meeting was at her house, but I guess, guess who else was at the meeting? The security team that we all think had a part in Charlie's assassination. So that had to have been uncomfortable. That had to have been uncomfortable. Yeah. It's about mental health during the holidays. Kleenex, because we never know if you will cry from sad or laughing your butts off. Probably both. I know I will probably cry. So yeah, don't look one of ours. It's 8:05 Central Standard Time. Here's the link. Okay, cool. There's the link, guys. Make sure you save that link. You can always hit the link now and then just keep that browser tab open, and then you can just, browse, in other tabs, during the day. But make sure you do that. I am going to be there, and I'm super looking forward to talking about all those things. I have experienced super lows during the holidays. Of course, spending that much time in prison, away from my family, away from my daughters, during the holidays was always rough. And then even outside, having to be away from them for different reasons was always rough. Like I'm away from my other 3 daughters this holiday season, and that's going to be rough. So yeah, I would love to participate in that show if I'm invited, which I'm guessing I am. So yeah. Well, you let me know if I'm invited. I don't want to invite myself. If you guys already had it planned just with you 3, that's totally fine with me. My feelings will not be hurt at all. But I definitely want to start making some Village shows. I will be there in the chat to show support. So I don't want to, just assume. Thank you, Shell Dub, for the super chat. I really appreciate that. You're the best. You're the best dub in the world. Better than that George W. Okay, cool. Yeah, I will be there in the chat hanging out. That'll be cool. Yep. No, that's totally okay. I totally get it. I totally get it. James House here. Jesse on Fire upped the payment offer to Kozac for $40,000 to take the lie detector today. Yep. I covered that a little earlier in the show. Absolutely. And I had a little rant about it. I think that's amazing. I think he should do it, but I understand if he doesn't. There is, even if you're innocent, doesn't mean that you would naturally do it, I must say, because, you know, you might be worried. Like I would do it because I don't care if it says that, you know, I'm guilty. If I'm innocent, I'm innocent, you know, but, you know, it just depends on who facilitates the test, of how good they are. And, you know, there's just a lot. There's a lot to it. I've seen people who I know are completely guilty beat those tests, and I know they were guilty. Yeah, they've admitted they were guilty. They admit that they beat the test. Yikes. Tan Louise, did I ever tell you my story about my buddy from Great Britain? How whenever he would like bend over or like, you know, if his backside was to anybody, he would always say, "Oh, pardon my backside." I always loved that about him. It was super respectful. Even if it was like 5 feet away, if he like bent over in front of somebody, he's like, "Oh, pardon my backside." I loved that about him. Okay, guys, I'm going to end it. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Anti-Monkey Pants, I'm so glad you were here today to see your video. That will be whenever you're in the chat. That is your welcome song. Welcome to the chat song. But it doesn't mean I don't love each and one of you guys any more or any less. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see you tonight in the village. Make sure you mark that link or save that link somehow, however you want to do it. And I'll see you guys there tonight. Also in the description, there's ways to donate, to tip the channel, to keep the lights on. And I will see you guys tomorrow, or if I don't see you tonight. All right, bye guys. Remember, be kind to each other, especially be kind to yourselves. Mahal.
Stay loud. Don't be woke. Stay wild. Stay awake. This was more